Hey, and welcome. Did I actually hit that button? Oh, I did. Oh, look at that. Hitting all the right buttons. Okay, scroll this to the top so I can actually see what I'm doing. Oh, good morning. Look at this. I'm all ready to go on time. I'm feeling awake. Oh, Callie's got to come say hi. Why am I making so much noise in the morning, she says. This is Callie. If you haven't met her yet, she's my little pupper. My big pupper, I guess, who always sits just off screen and watches me do the yoga. She also likes to look out this window here. So welcome. Let's do some yoga this morning. This is my first one, switching to an 8 a.m. time frame via your request. And so I was looking to switch things up anyways, because I found the evenings, I was just stressed until 8 o'clock. Rolled around, I'd count down, do I have enough time to do this? Do I not? Can I just do that? And so, as much as I love attending 8 p.m. yoga, teaching it every night was not my favorite. And so here we are at 8 a.m., nice and early, getting our day started off, able to do things right. I'm chatting intentionally at the beginning here just to give people to notice that give people notice words English no so good yet. Letting people notice I've gone live. So, oh hey Jody, great to have you with me this morning. Who else we got here? Oh Jody. Yes, you will be able to access this after. I do save them all, or they just get saved on my page, but I also upload them to YouTube, mostly because I'm able to upload a little bit of a better quality than these ones. So if you're not able to complete them all, or if you end up starting late, you can always circle around back to work on some of that. So let's get going here. Actually, let me get my clock out so that I don't end up doing yoga for like 8 hours. I've done it, not quite. I haven't done 8 hours. I've done some long classes though, and I like it. Okay, clock open and up just off screen. Grab your coffee if you haven't grabbed a coffee yet, and let's journey on down towards the ground. And if you're not ready to sit on the ground yet, that's okay. You can grab a little chair. You can sit on the couch to do our little warm-up bits. Just starting, take that big inhale breath. Really breathe in. Nice and deep. See if you can not only fill the lungs, but start to breathe into that abdomen, starting to fill into the belly area. So really inhale. Notice how you can get a little bit taller as you make a little bit of space for more air to come in, and then start to exhale nice and slow, letting it out. Connecting with that breath. Maybe you want to take a couple more. Maybe you start to notice the effect that a nice big breath has on the body. Inhaling and exhaling. At any point during the day, if you feel like you want to do some more yoga, all you have to do is simply breathe. And start to take that big inhale breath, a big exhale breath. Letting it out. You're going to start to lower your cortisol levels. Cortisol is that stress hormone in your body, that shoulder tightening one. And if you breathe, drop your shoulders, rolling your shoulder blades back and down. Right there, the brain is already being triggered to start to calm down, which is really cool that we know that about the bodies. We can trigger that in our bodies. And just by breathing and just by dropping the shoulders. So that's such a handy tool that you can bring into any situation. Anytime you start to notice those shoulders start to creeping back up, take a big inhale breath, get nice and tall, and roll those shoulders back and down with that exhale breath. So as we practice it here, that's just like riding a bike. It's just like the stop, drop, and roll, so that when you need to use it, you already have that muscle memory. And doing that. So hunch those shoulders right back up by those ears again. Inhale, start to get taller, lift the head up. And on that exhale, keep pushing those shoulders back down. Feel that softening and that lengthening. Beautiful. Feel like we need to do one more of those. So let's hunch those shoulders up. Oh, feel that stretch. Even just feel that tension. Really squeeze them up there. Take that inhale breath, get nice and tall. And exhale, really force those shoulders back and down. Feels great. Beautiful. If you like to set an intention for our time together for this class, feel free to do so now. Maybe there's a little phrase or a little mantra that comes to mind. Maybe you have a specific goal that you're working on. Just starting to bring purpose onto the mat. So I always like to repeat it a couple of times in my brain so that it can really settle in. And then I finish it off by taking one more big breath. Beautiful. All right, let's roll down onto our back. So if you're in that chair, time to crawl on down towards the ground. Let's get nice and comfy. I'm going to have my knees bent to start off with. Mostly because my muscles aren't awake at all yet. And so here I'm softer on my low back with my knees bent. I can feel my vertebrae pressing a little bit more in towards the spine. Roll those shoulders back and down. Even here, feel all of that length you can possibly create through the spine, that nice tuck of the chin. Maybe notice a couple of cracks or pops or adjustments from lying down on that hard surface. Take that nice big inhale breath. Let's bring the arms up overhead. That nice good morning stretch. Really reach nice and tall. And exhale. Drop those arms down. Just let them fall. Let's take one more of those nice big inhale breaths. Reaching those arms up overhead. Feel that stretch. Feel that length, and imagine that you're reaching up for something really on a tall shelf. Excellent. If you want more, you can start to extend the legs, pointing maybe through the toes. Feeling all of that length through the front line of the body. Oh, it feels so great. Really waking it up, starting to activate into that connective tissue. Keep reaching. And exhale, soften, relax. Gently bring those knees in towards the chest. Give them a nice little hug. Nice little rock from side to side. Giving that low back a nice massage. Yes, taking a little moment. So our connective tissue, our fascia, it can get fuzzy. I think that's I like alliteration, so your fascia fuzz. And you can start to release that just by stretching. So that good morning stretch is a beauty first thing in the morning. So even as you're just getting out of bed, make sure you add in one of those. Wake up all your muscles, that connective tissue surrounding your muscles. All right, let's find our stillness. If you're holding onto your knees here, bring your hands behind your knees and slowly start to extend your legs upward. So those hamstrings might be tight. There still might be a little bend in it. Maybe over time here, we can keep extending through those heels and keep lengthening, finding that soft spot. Maybe you give those little hamstrings a nice little pat, bring some blood flow there. Maybe you give them a little squeeze, say good morning. Excellent. Keep that chin nice and tucked in. It's really common to start to float up onto the top of the head here. Take a moment, pull the belly button in towards the spine, stabilizing that way. So stabilizing by a pulling in motion, getting nice and tight, opposed to a pushing out motion that actually stabilizes the body much more effectively. So keep pushing through those heels, get that nice stretch in. I'm going to interlace my hands behind just for a quick moment, just so I can really start to feel that length. Starting to pull them in towards my chest, my legs ever so slightly. If you can't reach your hands, just holding here, even a strap, even last seeing the feet, will add that little bit of resistance, almost like you were standing in the air here. Feels really good. So if you have any of those props, I try not to teach too much with props, just keeping in mind that other people don't have them, but I will cue to them. So if you do have them, keep them handy, and we will try to work on that. So if you're ready for a little more, let's start to release the hands from the legs. You can press them down wherever, even if you really need to press them hard to the floor to help stabilize. As I press them, look, I can almost come up a little bit higher onto my low back and extend the legs a little bit more. Excellent. Let's start with just a little bit of a walk. Just walking on the ceiling here. And if you're practicing outside, you're walking on the clouds. Beautiful. Warming up those hip flexors. Keep pressing that low back down into the ground. So whether you're using your hands to press in or whether you tuck on your hands under your sit bones, That little lift of the hips works wonders for keeping that connection and keep drawing that belly button inwards. So we're warming up through the hips here, starting to build a little strength, getting a little bit of movement, feeling a little heat. And as you're ready, you can bring your steps a little bit bigger. Still not keeping them giant though. Just finding that nice middle ground. Beautiful. We'll keep trying to keep your chin tucking in. Feel that length through the spine as we add in that extra movement through the legs. And then let's start to slowly lower the legs. So I'm keeping the same kicking motion. I'm just starting to lower them down a little bit. So I'm hanging out here a little bit. Now I'm going to drop them some more. Starting to use those core muscles. Feeling that blood flow. Maybe you're feeling a little heat here already. Let's lower them down to more of our canoe flutter. Excellent. If you want to keep this easier, add a bend to the knees. That'll soften that right up, but still uses a decent amount through the hip flexors. Keep fluttering nice and low. You can try pointing through the toes, flexing through the toes. And then let's journey on back up. So coming up a quarter of the way. Nice big kicks. Yeah, these ones are the harder ones. Let's come up a little more. Beautiful. Keep those nice little kicks happening. A few more, connecting with that breath. Remember to smile, remember to breathe. And come all the way back up towards the top. Beautiful. Here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release, hug those knees in towards the chest. Take a nice rock from side to side. Feeling a little bit of warmth. We're going to stretch through the hips and through the muscles. We've got to keep warming them up and moving there. All right, let's plant the feet in towards the mat. Take a nice big inhale, get nice and tall. And exhale, pull the belly button in, root down into the feet, pressing into the feet a little bit more than maybe you were before. Make sure the knees are hanging out in line with the hips and with the feet. So nothing is overly wide or splaying outwards. The knees aren't falling outwards. We're pulling them in. We're finding that nice stability. Take one more nice big breath, breathing in. And on this exhale, keep all of that engagement. Let's start to press into the feet using that motion, that pushing down motion, to start to lift the hips up off the ground. So keep those knees drawing nice and straight. Might often like to splay outward. They're starting to learn though, but I still think it's important to cue. If you want more, squeeze through the glutes. You'll activate a little bit more. Maybe you'll come up a little higher. If you want more still, let's bring the arms into it, either reaching the hands down toward the ankles or interlacing underneath. You can give a little wiggle, coming a little higher up on the shoulder blades, and kick into the heels. So it's activating into the glutes and pushing you a little bit higher up on those shoulders. Then you can press into the feet a little more and lift the hips up even more. Nice and strong here. Feet are nice and active. Our back is nice and active. Those core muscles, maybe you're feeling the opening through the quads, those hip flexors, through the front of the body. Keep that nice engagement. Keep holding here. We're going to hold for a few more breaths. Take a nice big inhale. Maybe on that exhale, you push in to see if you can find another millimeter. Go a little deeper. Keep pressing in. Keep squeezing those glutes. Super active. And let's exhale. Release the hands. And roll down nice and slow here. So don't rush the roll down. Really start to just millimeter your way down, one vertebrae at a time, staying nice and gentle. Excellent. Landing it all the way down. Beautiful. All right, keep your right knee bent. Let's send that left foot back up towards the ceiling, coming into this half waterfall position here. Beautiful. I'm going to bring my hands to a nice little pillow behind my head. Easiest variation is simply keeping the head and the shoulders down. If you want a little more, you're starting to hold the head, the neck, and the tops of the shoulders up. Keep pulling that foot inwards. And we're simply going to lower the foot down nice and slow. and lift the foot back up. So here's our motion. We can add on to it a whole bunch more. So if you're not feeling anything here, either A, just wait for a couple more reps. Maybe you'll start to feel a little bit into that lower core, a little bit into the upper core as you're holding that head up. Keep pulling that belly button inwards. And if you want more, as you lower, you can lower the head and add more of that crunch into it. If you absolutely hate the crunch, you can think of either bringing elbows towards your knee, or you can even release the head completely. Sometimes I like to just reach fingers to toes. So starting to feel that my foot is nice and active. So I am pointing left toes in, got a nice flex of the foot. And then if you still want more from this, that's when you can play around with floating right leg up. So only thing stabilizing you now is your core. You feel that low back pressing in. You can lower down, reach it up. We will take, 5 more here. We'll keep it nice and gentle. Here's 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Excellent. Lower the head down, lower that foot down. Plant both feet in towards the mat. Take that nice windshield wiper, just dropping the knees from side to release. Big inhale. Nice full exhale. All right, let's come on back into it. Release your hands. Reach them down. Press into the feet. Starting to activate. Take a nice inhale breath. Get nice and tall. Exhale. Pull the belly button in. Press into the feet a little more. And then on your next exhale, let's start to lift those hips up by pressing into the feet. Keep those knees in line with everything. Not falling in, not opening up. And press up a little higher. Maybe you start to squeeze through those glutes. Squeezing everything up and in. Maybe press into those heels. And coming up a little higher on those shoulder blades. Really trying to lift those hips up off the ground, but by engaging through the feet, through the hamstrings. Quads are starting to be active here too. Feeling it through the back. Maybe you interlace the hands and reach down, activating through the shoulders. Take a nice big inhale, and on that exhale, press even harder, squeezing everything up as much as you can. Find that edge, find that max line. Beautiful. Keep holding here. One more big breath in, and use that exhale. Release the hands. Let's roll down nice and slow. Feeling that activation through the legs. Feeling good. Beautiful. All right, left leg stays planted. Right leg comes up towards the ceiling here. Taking a little moment, flexing through the foot. Staying nice and active. Bring those hands, have it be the awkward handshake way. So opposite from thumb on top. Hold the head, you can relax it down. And let's start lowering down. Then coming all the way back up. So feeling that squeeze. As you lift the leg, mine naturally wants to stop here, but I know I can squeeze it in and getting in a little bit more closer. Really trying to work hard with it. Take in a couple of movements. I think I took about 10 on the other side. I'd say about. I wasn't counting, I was chatting, trying to encourage you guys, trying to distract you with fun knowledge. Feeling the body find its warmth, find its rhythm. You'll come into a natural pace of lifting and lowering the leg. So embrace that. You don't have to match mine. Just feeling that go up and down. Nice and strong. Beautiful. If you want more now, you can start to lift the head. So I'm going to take a moment here, pull my belly button in. We'll lift the head, set nice and strong. And then keep going with the leg. You can add just raising and lowering of the shoulders. Here's one of our options for today. Maybe that feels the best. Or if you want more, reach fingers up, lower down. Beautiful. Shows off my little T-Rex arms. How I feel like I have really short arms because even here, can't even reach my toes. Well, that's okay. It's not really about reaching the toes. It's about reaching up, using those core muscles, using those hip flexors. Excellent. All right. If you want more still, coming into the last 5 of these, you can float left leg up, extend long through right leg, and keep reaching up. Getting a couple more in. So here's 4, and 3, and 2, and last one. Make it real good. Reach it up, squeeze the leg in, lower down, plant the feet, take that nice windshield wiper, dropping from side to side. Feeling good. Feeling all warmed up now. Feel like we need to warm up a little more through our arms here. All right, let's find our stillness, planting the feet nice and strong. Adjusting through the leggings. Excellent. Hug those knees in. Take one more little massage on that low back. Big, nice inhale. Full, complete exhale. And then maybe you want to start to rock and roll forward and back, giving that spine a little massage. That can be really slow motions. Or you can do them a little faster. Maybe you start to come all the way up to seated and back down. Or maybe you're just like, what the heck, Janelle? That's not my jam. I don't want that. That's okay. Just make your way up into seated. So sitting nice and tall and strong, give yourself a little wiggle so you can feel into your sits bones. Beautiful. And crossing one leg over the other, one leg in front of the other. It doesn't really matter. I always seem to put one on top. I'm working with that. Feel those sits bones. Roll those shoulders back and down. Take that big, strong exhale. Nice big inhale. See if you can get a little taller. Exhale. Pull those ribs in. Drop the shoulders. Slight tuck of the chin. Let's inhale. Sweep the arms up. Reach up nice and tall. Exhale. Hands to heart. Taking a couple of these breaths. Warming up the shoulders. And if you want more from it, you can look up, engaging through the back. Then add just a gentle little bow as you're coming down. So you can exaggerate real big, nor keeping it a little bit smaller. Today is our yin-yang flow, which I didn't describe at the beginning of class, but if you're following along anyway, that's great. I love these classes because we take a bit of movement at first here. We warm up the entirety, or we warm up the body, especially areas that I'm hoping to stretch out. We get a little bit of a stretch in, and then we slow things down. One more big inhale, one more full exhale. Pull the hands down to heart center. Pressing into those hands, so not letting the elbows drape down. Let's see if we can activate there. Nice and strong. Feel that lifting of the collarbone, lifting of the heart. And so when we take a little bit of moments to slow down in our practice and we hold things a little bit longer, it really becomes yoga of the brain. And you have to work a little harder there to maybe control your thoughts. So it's not just about controlling your muscles and the physical, but working on that mental side of things, the emotional side of things. All of that ties into the physical stillness. So one more nice big inhale and exhale. Inhale, get nice and tall and start to reach for opposite knee. Bring other hand, reach it all the way around, a nice big sweeping motion, planting it down right behind you, right kind of as a second spine. Inhale, get nice and tall, and exhale, let's twist, twist, twist. So feeling that all the way from the base of the hips twisting around. Maybe you just look over that shoulder to include the neck. Maybe you take this as an opportunity to steal a sip of coffee. Shout out to Larissa, who I do her classes almost every morning, who regularly drinks coffee during them. Thank you for giving me the permission, by you doing it, for me to also not have drank my coffee in completion beforehand. All right, let's exhale, release, and come on back. Sit nice and tall, roll shoulders back and down. Let's reach for the opposite knee now, coming into the other side. This hand reaches forward, find all that length. Start to reach it around, planting it back behind you. Inhale, get nice and tall. And exhale, let's start to deepen that twist. So you can use your hands as a little bit of an anchor to kind of press in to twist a little deeper. Or if you want extra challenge, you can float the hands up, just trying to squeeze through the core to get a little deeper. I promise you that one was way harder, and there's something so satisfying about a nice twist. Feeling it right from the hips, spinning all the way around. I'm looking over that back shoulder, still trying to find length, using those inhales to get nice and tall, exhales to twist nice and deep. Beautiful. The drinking of the coffee thing, I really appreciate, because it means you don't have to be perfect. You don't have it all. You need to have it all together in order to do yoga, in order to teach yoga, in order to just be a part of yoga. Let's release, come on back down. I find that really freeing. Let's inhale, sweep those arms up. Reach up nice and tall. Exhale. And start to bow forward, coming into your version of a forward fold. So maybe you hang out with elbows on the legs. Maybe you press into your hands. Maybe you really find that hinge from the hips. You bow it down, reach those hands a little bit more forward. Maybe you drop the head. And just feel what feels good for you. You'll feel that on the top leg a little bit more through the hip. Yeah, releasing that freedom of feeling like you need to be perfect in your yoga, especially in order to teach. That was a huge hang-up of mine. I was reminded on Facebook this morning that I've been trying to make yoga videos for about a year now. And so I used to set up in the basement and rearrange basically my entire basement to make a little yoga studio down there, and it was carpet. And I would spend hours trying to make sure everything is perfect. Let's see if we can reach a little farther if you've got your hands reaching forward, or just see if you can find another millimeter using that exhale to find some more space. And I find it really freeing now, because one of my mottos in life or core values is come as you are. And so if I'm not coming as I am, how am I supposed to create an environment where other people feel like they can come just as they are? All right, let's start to press in. Come on up. Nice and slow here. Feeling that release. Come all the way up. Up, up, up. Shoulders over the hips. Nice big inhale. Squeeze those shoulders up. Roll them back and down. And let's switch the feet, opposite foot on top or in front. Working with that nice non-dominant side. Find that length through the spine. And start to feel that opening through the hip. Let's inhale, reach it up. We'll take a couple of these. We're already starting to feel warmed up here, so we'll take 3. So here's 2, reaching up. 1 more, all the way up. Bowing it down. Let's reach up and hold, nice and strong. Interlace the fingers, flip the wrists. Find that extra bit of length. And let's tip over towards one side. Opening up through that top shoulder, so rolling it back and reaching those arms nice and strong. Beautiful. Maybe you sink a little deeper. Feel that tipping point where that opposite hip wants to float up. Press it back in. Feel that rooting down. Inhale, come all the way up. Reach up nice and tall. Then exhale over towards the other side. Nice and strong. Roll that top shoulder open. Extend through the arms. Maybe you sink down a little more, feeling that stretch, feeling that strength and control. And let's come all the way up. Reach it up. Hands to heart. Beautiful. Nice and active, so not droopy elbows. Let's find that strength. Press into the hands. Roll shoulders open, and lift through the heart. And release it down. Inhale, reach up. One more little side bend, just get nice and stretchy. Dropping that lower arm down. And maybe adding a little movement into this one. Adding that little bit of a pulse. Just slowly finding that openness as we pulse it out. Really good if you've got the crazy monkey mind. All right, press into that bottom hand. Let's sweep it up. And over towards the other side. Drop that hand down. Reach top arm open. Roll shoulder back. Maybe pulse. Maybe enjoy the stillness. Options are yours. Nice big inhales and exhales. Remembering to breathe. All right, press in. Come all the way up. Reach it up. Feeling like a little ballerina. And exhale. Release the hands down. Inhale, bring them, reach again, nice and tall, and exhale, starting to bow forward. And so finding your depth on this side, elbows on legs, even elbows on blocks, even if it's just a tuck of the chin and a slight lean forward, that's okay, you can embrace it. Maybe you can get down, maybe the hands press in, maybe walk those hands, finding that length. Feeling that extra little bend through the hip. Maybe you reach those hands forward and drop the head down. Give the head a little shake to release the neck. And hang out here for a little bit. Feeling that stretch. Maybe you feel it extra on the low back. And if you're wanting to connect your forehead with something that feels really good, that little third eye is stimulating that pineal gland, which I still didn't look up from last time when I couldn't remember what it does. You can use your little yogi props if you've got a block handy. Reaching forward. Maybe you can slowly lower it down, or maybe you can get your forehead all the way down to the ground. Working with whatever level you're at. Embracing this nice big forward fold. Beautiful. Starting to become a little bit more comfortable with the stillness, with the silence, with your own company. Big breath in, fill the lungs, fill the belly if you can, and exhale nice and slow. Pressing into those hands, starting to walk yourself back up. Excellent. Sitting up nice and tall, roll shoulders open, feel all of that length. And let's make our way into an all fours position, into that nice tabletop position. And so whether you just roll over your knees, plant the hands down and release the feet, or like me, where you gotta shimmy around a little bit. That's a giant tuft of hair. Thanks, doggy. Just gotta clean off my mat a little bit. Doesn't really affect my practice, it just distracts me. All right, so hands are stacked underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Take a nice big inhale, start to look up, drop the belly down. Exhale, start to tuck the chin, round through the spine, really pressing into those hands to accentuate. Take that inhale, start to look up, drop the belly down. Even here, press into those hands, feel that lift. See if you can find a little more length for the crown of the head. Then moving at your own pace, working with your breath. Taking that exhale to round, that nice angry cat. And that inhale to look up, nice happy cow. Awesome. A few more. Just really waking up that spine. Feels great as well. All right, let's come to that stillness. Beautiful. And start to just walk the hands forward. So keep the hips and knees stacked on top of each other. Reaching the hands forward. And then start to melt the heart down, coming into our puppy pose. So keep pushing hips back, pressing into the arms. Arms are nice and active here. Find those nice flat shoulder blades where you're opening up. Maybe you can spin the hands outward ever so slightly. Maybe you get head down to the ground. Maybe you get forehead down to the ground. If this is really easy for you, maybe you can touch a nose into the ground or maybe even chin as you start to look upwards. Just accentuating that nice bend through the spine, melting that heart. Reaching with those arms nice and active here, starting to warm up through those shoulders. Big inhale, full exhale. Press them in. Walk those hands back up. And tuck the toes under, and let's press into our downward dog. Lifting the hips, pressing into those arms, finding those nice flat shoulders like we prepped in that little puppy pose. You can pedal out the feet. Let it feel really good. Beautiful. Keep pressing into those hands. Let's look towards the front of the mat and hop, step, jump, or tiptoe into that nice forward fold. So you can take a couple steps, you can take a big step. You can float the feet up. It's not important here that the hands touch the toes. So even if you're higher up, just letting the arms dangle. See if you can drop that head, give it a big shake. No. Maybe you lift through the sits bones, imagining that hinge from the hips. Maybe that gives you a little more depth. And being able to touch your toes really only tells you how long your hamstrings are. It's not an overall health situation. This is a nice restorative posture. Head is below the heart. Getting some blood flow back into the head. All right, let's inhale, halfway lift. Roll those shoulders back and down. Maybe even press into the legs. See if you can find some more length. And bend through the knees, sink the hips, press into the feet. Maybe you sweep those arms up, coming into that nice chair posture. Reach up, nice and strong. Maybe you sink a little lower. Press all the way up to standing, reach it up. Hands to heart, big exhale. Nice and strong. Inhale, sweep it up, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart. Beautiful. So now that we're in this nice standing posture, I'm wanting to work on a little bit of balance. So let's first become aware of our feet. Let me just face you here so we can work with it. So I like to start by just squeezing and scrunching my toes into my mat. Then I shift my weight into my toes, lift my heels off. I'm trying to make sure I have left and right foot equal amount of weight in them. Front and back of the foot, equal amounts. So I'm not too much in the heels, not too much in the toes. And now we're going to activate through the entirety of the body. So coming into our strongest mountain pose, let's start from the bottom. Toes press in. Arches start to lift. Imagine dialing your knees outwards, activating into those sidelines. Slight tuck of the pelvis, pull that belly button in. Back line of the body just drops down a little bit more. Roll the shoulders open, palms face forward. So keep pulling those ribs in here. Tuck of the chin, and see if you can get a millimeter or two taller, extending through the crown of the head. Excellent. Nice big inhale. Nice full exhale. Excellent. Feeling all of that strength here. Feel that stabilizing. And start to find your drishti point, a little point on the floor maybe to focus in on, or if you want more challenge, make that point a little farther away or a little bit higher, maybe even eye level. And then start to shift your weight into your left side. Come onto those right toes. It's okay, Callie. You just scared yourself. And start to bring those toes up to floating, nice and strong. Start to really pull that knee in. Let's reach for the knee. Give it a nice big hug. Then squeeze in towards the body. Working with the balance. Maybe feel those little micro movements through the ankle to stabilize. As you're holding onto the knee, don't shrug up. Roll those shoulders. Find that openness. Hug the knee in a little bit more, nice and strong. Beautiful. I'm holding on to my leg with my outside hand. Opening it up. Taking a little moment here before I come into my tree. So I've got nice strong balance. I'm going to work on extending that leg, so kicking out through the heel. Finding that balance, finding that strength through that hip flexor. So I warmed it up. Beautiful. Keep extending. All right, bring a bend back to it. Maybe with a helping hand, you plant that foot in towards the leg. Above the knee, sure. Below the knee, even better. Still back down on the ground, just having the toes touching in, great. Whatever your tree needs to look like. Finding that nice spot to focus in on. And start to reach the arms out a little bit more. Finding that nice length. Big inhale. Exhale. Maybe you've got a little breeze happening in your forest. It's because I'm staring at something that's moving, not something still. Try to reach those arms up overhead. And get tall like a pencil, reach it up. Exhale, release the arms. And grab back onto that knee. Unplant the foot from the leg. And try to reach that knee back out. See if we can take a little extend through the foot. Excellent. Bring a bend back to the knee. Bring the knee forward. And then release, plant it down. Great work. You can take a couple little steps and march it out. And giving that foot a little break. Yeah, that was the long one on that side. But you got to work through the feet somehow. With strengthening into all those muscles in the feet. All right, let's stand nice and tall and strong again. I'm not going to cue everything, but dial those knees out. Activate into those sidelines. Tuck the pelvis, nice and tall. Big inhale. Nice full exhale. Outstanding. All right, let's start to shift the weight into the opposite foot. And start to come up onto those toes. Find that drishti point of focus. And start to bring that knee up. Give that knee a nice big hug. Excellent. Rolling those shoulders down. Lengthening through the crown of the head. Big squeeze in. Beautiful. Holding on with just one hand now. Open the knee outwards. Keep pressing into that standing leg. And let's work on extending that leg. Here's my bad side for y'all. Kicking into that heel. Ooh, we might have it today. Look at this. Almost full extension. Woo! All right, I'm feeling great. That's cool. Keep extending. Keep finding that length. Ooh, I'm falling out of it. That's okay. All right, bring a bend to that knee. Maybe you reach down for the ankle. Planting it into your tree. So even if you're hanging out here this morning, that's okay. You can still make that work. It's still a beautiful tree. Even if you're here, having just your toe to stabilize. And that's okay. Let it feel great. Working with that balance wherever you're at. Balance can be really tricky, especially if you don't work on it every day. Right, try to find some more length through the arms. Roll those shoulders down. Big inhale breath. Nice full exhale. Try to reach those arms up overhead and get nice and tall. Inhales and exhales. All right, release the arms. And unstick the foot. Maybe you reach on back for that knee. Let's go for one more big extension here. And kick the heel out. Strong through that standing leg. Keep pressing in. Beautiful. Bring a bend to that knee. Bring it in front. Release. Drop it down. Take those little steps out. Great work. Feels so good. Hips are feeling great. All right, standing at the top of your mat. You'd spin around, spin on back, reach up nice and tall. Exhale, let's sink into our chair posture. Bending those knees, drop the hips down. Reach up nice and tall. If the arms or the shoulders are tired, you can bring hands to heart, or even boss arms. These are some of my faves. Sink it low. Push those glutes back. Nice and strong. Beautiful. Maybe you want to reach those arms up. Maybe you want to sink those hips. Maybe you want to take a couple of pulses going lower. Coming up ever so slightly. Sink it down. Sitting in that nice high chair at the bar. Sink it down to your kitchen table chair. Back up. One more time down. Sink it low. Beautiful. Drop the elbows onto the knees. Extend long through the back. And then press into the feet, into your forward fold. Drop it down. Big inhale breath. Nice full exhale. Remembering to breathe. Let's inhale, nice halfway lift. Extend nice and long. Exhale, bend the knees so you can plant the hands down. Take a big step, hop or jump back into your downward dog. Pressing nice and strong into those hands. Maybe you pedal it out again. Beautiful, let's drop those knees nice and wide. Push back into your child's pose. So sits bones go over the heels, over the feet. Arms can still reach forward, head can still drop down. I mean, if you want a little variety, you can bring your hands down to your feet. Or one hand up, one hand down. Whatever feels best for you. Because this practice is all about you. It's not about me. I'm just the tour guide pointing out different options. Different things we could be doing. You can follow along. You can come up with your own variation. Taking some time in this posture. If you need to readjust the knees at any point, go ahead and do so. Take a nice big inhale. Nice full exhale. Starting to really become comfortable with being with yourself, with maybe the silence from within you. Even if there's chaos happening around you, can you start to just settle in, feel the stretch, feel the lengthening, start to become aware of what's happening within the body, maybe physically, maybe emotionally. If you really need a distraction, if the mind just won't settle down, the breath is a great anchor point. Just noticing the inhales. Are you deep breathing into the depths of your lungs, into your belly? And tracking the movement of breath all the way from the nose through the back of the throat into the lungs. Or maybe you add a count to your breath. What is the length of the inhale? What is the length of the exhale? Connecting in, take a couple more rounds of breath. Great opportunity to sneak a little more coffee, a little more tea. Beautiful, and start to come out nice and slow. Pressing into those hands. Come on up. And then start to push forward, coming on to your front. Lowering down. Next, so bring those hands underneath the shoulders. Pull those elbows in towards the body. Give yourself a nice big squeeze. And feel that pelvis starting to press in. Maybe even lift the feet up off the ground just for a moment. And press in to those hip bones. Roll those shoulders away from the ears. And then start to journey into a little baby cobra. So maybe you just lift the heart up off the ground. Extending long through the crown of the head. Nice big inhale. Find some more length. Press into that pelvis. If you want more, that's when you can press into those hands. And starting to come up a little higher into your back bend. Feeling what feels good. If those shoulders start to hunch up by the ears, roll them down. If you can't, lower down. You've gone too far. My low back actually feels quite tight this morning. You can keep pressing into those hands. Rolling up as much as you'd like. Keep pressing into that pelvis. And if that low back is sore, try bringing the feet a little bit wider. Excellent. Let's lower down nice and slow with control. Come all the way down. Maybe you stack palms or stack fists. Plant the forehead. Bend through the knees and windshield wiper. Nice little roll from side to side. All right, find your stillness and drop the feet down. Excellent. And then let's just roll and shimmy over onto our back body. Taking a moment, spin her out, roll on down if you came up. Bend the knees, plant the feet in towards the mat. Roll the shoulder blades back and down. Find that length. Take a nice big inhale breath. Exhale, soften, feel that spine pressing in. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, coming into our figure four. So I'm gonna start by bringing my right ankle onto my left knee, and I'm gonna send the right knee back. Feeling that openness happening right there. Maybe you're getting a little more into that IT bend. Really press that knee back, or maybe just keep it nice and gentle. Beautiful. And as you're ready, you can relax through both sides. So I'm not actively pushing the knee back anymore. And then you can float left leg up. You can reach on through that little hole created by your figure four. You can grab onto the leg. You can grab onto the top of the knee. You can lasso the foot with a strap, wherever you like to hold on to. Roll the head and shoulders back down so that you can comfortably lay down in this position. So if you're kind of hiking up into it, maybe you need to find a little length. The tie from the house coat works really well. A scarf works pretty good, although they can be a little bulky. Keep trying to relax through the shoulders and hug the knees and getting tons of stretch through that right hip. Feeling that nice openness. Big full inhale. Nice slow exhale. So in this pose, hit a reclined pigeon or a figure four. If you just can't settle down, if you're just kind of buzzing a little bit and your brain won't settle down, you can take a nice little rock from side to side. It's a great little motion. It still helps release through the body. You can find your stillness. You can do some ankle rotations, drawing big circles with your big toe. If you're doing that, go the other way. If you want more of a hamstring stretch as well, you can send those left toes up in the air, either up towards the ceiling, or you can continue to pull the legs in towards you. Continuing with that breath. Don't forget to breathe. See if you can use those exhales to release any of that tension. Holding here for a few more rounds of breath. Maybe you hug those legs in a little more as you found that softness. Beautiful. Feeling that nice big stretch. Oh, so good. If that left foot is still wildly in the air, let's bring a bend back to that knee. Pull those knees nicely in towards the chest. And keep the feet more or less as they are in that same figure four. Let's release the hands, reach out wide like a T. Coming into our twist, drop the legs down towards the left. So two options here. And planting that foot right in towards the floor. Knee staying up in the air. Totally great option there. If you want more of a twist, trying to keep both shoulder blades planted down, you can start to drop this right knee, coming in onto that left hip a little more. Nice big roll. Kelly wants to say hi. Come here, come say hi. Everyone loves you. This is my dog. She's so polite. She asks if she can come into the space first. She really just wants to look out the window. I know that. Thanks, little dog. All right, if you want more, you can look towards the right. That left hand can come on top of the legs, not to actively torque or crank anything down, just adding the weight of it while deepen into the stretch. See if you can connect with that breath, find that length, feel that twist. Then exhale, release the hands, bring the neck back towards neutral, and then swing the legs up Let's uncross them if you haven't done so already. Bring left ankle onto right knee. Let's open up, sending that left knee back, feeling that nice stretch through the IT band. Maybe after all this you don't feel anything because we managed to stretch it all out. Nice big breath. Oh, feel that great stretch. At least I am. Feels great to me. Oh, feels great to you too. That's always the point. All right, relax through those legs. Come back to slightly more neutral. And when you're ready, start to float right leg up. So even if it just comes up a little bit, or even if you just want to put a block under that foot, and that's enough of a stretch there for you, that is a-okay. That actually is very restorative. It feels just oh so wonderful. And if you're looking for more of that stretch to the left side, though, you got to hug those legs in deeper. So starting to bring them closer towards the body. So you relax through those shoulders. Notice the teeth. Are you clenching through the jaw? Making sure that head and shoulders are connecting into the mat with the floor. Whatever you find yourself laying on today. You can take that little rock from side to side. However you played around on the other side. I don't know if you did exactly how I cued it. It doesn't matter. I might not remember the exact order of how we played around last time. I think we rolled from side to side. Around hugging those knees in. You can pulse it out. You can do some little ankle rotations. Drawing big giant circles with that big toe. Doing a couple one way. Doing a couple the other way. Working with all those cracks and pops. At least mine sure does. And if you want more, you can extend that foot up. Extending through the heel. Maybe you're still actively pulling those legs in. Every time I did this before, and I used to be able to hug my knees in, and then I'd lift my legs and release that grip to make sure that my heel was perfectly aligned with the ceiling or the floor. So I'd lose all of the stretch. So if that's happening to you, still pull those legs in towards the body and to get more of that stretch happening through that left hip. Lots of stretch happening through that hamstring. Taking a couple of moments to simply breathe. Let that tension go. Unclench the jaw. Relax the shoulders. Beautiful. All right, if that leg is still extended, let's bring a bend to that knee. Keeping that figure four position. Let's reach the arms out. And coming into our twist, rolling onto the right side, dropping the legs down to the right. Shoulders still glued in towards the floor. If they start to float up though, that's okay. If you're kind of hanging out with this arm up, just bring the arm closer to the body, then you should be able to relax it down. One more intensity, you can come to cactus arms. That'll really stretch through those shoulders. You can bring that right hand on top of the legs. You can have that knee up towards the ceiling. You can start to open it up here, and that'll get more into that IT band. Or you can drop it down, coming into your twist. A little bit deeper, nice rotation through the spine. Remembering to breathe, feel that nice connection. One more nice big inhale. One more nice full exhale. Beautiful. And if you're looking towards the left, let's bring that head back to neutral. Release the bind you have on the legs. And with control, nice and slow, start to bring the knees back up. Uncross. And then hug those knees in towards the chest. You can simply hang out here. Or a little reverse cobbler or reverse child's pose. Or you can transition into a nice happy baby. You're reaching up for the feet wherever you feel like grabbing them. Ankles, big toe, all the toes. And pull the knees in towards the chest, feet go up towards the ceiling. Nice lower rock from side to side here. I love to add resistance into the feet here. So I'm actively pulling into my feet and kicking into my hands. I'm feeling that spine pressing in. Nice tuck the chin, all that length. Beautiful reset on the spine, on all those vertebrae. And then I encourage you to take a little freestyle. Take some time to play around. Maybe you play around in your happy baby pose, extending one leg and the next. Maybe you come into the little happy baby cobbler, reaching more for the ankles. Or maybe you go into a whole different pose. Maybe you want that waterfall from the beginning of class. Maybe you want another little bridge pose. I don't know. Play around, embrace that inner creativity that you have. How would you want to move? What would feel really good? Maybe you want a windshield wiper. All sorts of fun stuff. Let me move my block out of the way. Getting ready to settle into your Shavasana, your final pose. It doesn't have to be the traditional corpse pose. Maybe you want to try a front corpse pose. Laying on the front body, letting the feet splay open. If you are choosing the back one, you can either do the box arms to feel that opening through the shoulders. Hands can go down by the hips. Got our palms facing up though, rolling those shoulders back and down, feeling that openness we created through the heart space. Take a nice big inhale, nice and tall. Exhale, side out. Take 2 more of those. Nice big inhale, fill the lungs. And exhale, big sigh, let it out audibly. One more nice big breathe again. And exhale, release. I encourage you to take your time in your Shavasana, trying to take 10 or 15 nice full breaths, settling into the body, becoming comfortable with yourself, trying not to jump into the next tasks you have to do, but maybe scanning through the body, noticing how you're feeling after a bit of movement, giving yourself permission to feel really good, or to simply notice and become aware. I thank you so much for joining me this morning, or if you're rewatching it, always wonderful. If you have any pose suggestions, or if you want me to workshop something, let me know. Thank you again. I'm just filled with gratitude. I really love it. So I hope that the rest of your day is filled with joy and that you may always be blessed. Namaste. We will see you next time.